Hi, my name is Joshua and welcome to the third part of our video series. In this video, we are going to implement Linode and S3 into our Payload project. Now, if you already looked into the documentation on Payload or on the website, you have probably seen that it only mentions AWS and that there is no straightforward way to connect another service like Linode, but actually the documentation is not complete, and I'm going to show you how to pass those additional parameters in order for it to be able to connect to Linode. Now, let's start. First, what you need to do is create a Linode account and log into it. Then we're going to go into object storage, and we're going to create a new object storage. We name it LMS YouTube. It's going to be hosted in Germany, but you can choose whatever region. We create the bucket. Now we got our bucket. We need, here it is. For this bucket, we need to create a new access key. With here access keys, we're going to create a new one. Going to create a new one. We name it LMS YouTube 1 because I already created an LMS YouTube key, but it does not matter how you name it. Let's choose again the same region, and we're gonna limit access to our bucket. Here we set no access to all, and then we're gonna set read-write access to the bucket we just created. Create access key. Now it is, yes, showing all of this valuable information. We're going to copy and paste that into our project in a second. Let's go to our environment variables. What we need here is an S3 bucket name. We're gonna need an S3 access key, an S3 secret key, an S3 and an S3 endpoint, and an S3 region. Now, let's start with the bucket name. This is going to be LMS YouTube. The access key we get here, access key, let's copy it. And we're gonna get the secret key. For secret key, this is also the endpoint we need to use. Let's copy the whole thing. Endpoint, we need to delete the DE Frankfurt part, and we can copy this into regions. Now we added successfully our environment variables for the S3 bucket. I have saved my secret key. We don't need this any longer, and we can go back to the project. Now we need to go into the payload config, and in here we need to add a plugin. First, you need to install the Payload CMS /storage plugin /storage -S3. You can simply do that by typing pnpm add Payload CMS storage S3. I already installed it, so it's not going to do a lot. And then you're going to import it. You import S3 storage from this package. Now, when you imported this, you can go to plugins, and we can start implementing it or initializing it. First, we're going to say S3 storage, and we pass a configuration object. It's going to take a collection. By the way, Payload automatically already created a media collection, and what we want is this media collection to directly upload into the S3 bucket. Now, and then for us to be able to use it later in other parts of the projects in the front end. We have collections, and here we're going to specify which collections exactly they need to be. Upload collections are going to be uploaded, and we're going to set media on true. The next thing we're going to need here is bucket. Bucket is process.env.s3 bucket name, and we're going to need config object. This is not sufficient. It also wants, where's the symbol? It wants a string in any case, so we're simply gonna pass an empty string if this is not configured. In config, we're gonna set the region, process.env S3 region. Now the same thing. And endpoint, process, because it's not on AWS, it's on Linode, process.env.s3 endpoint, again the empty string, and finally the credentials. And the credentials consist of access key ID, process.env.s3 access key, and the empty string, and a secret access key. This is process.env.s3 secret key. Now, this should be the configuration for the Linode S3 bucket. Now we're going to verify. Let's save all of this. The server should be restarting. Let's log in. Dev at Text Media. What was the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. And we're logging in. It's going to take a second. Okay, and we are logged in. If it does not work for you, just restart your server and try it again. Now we go into media, and in here we actually want to save the images that we upload, for example, as a thumbnail for course videos. Now this is going to take a moment again. Now here we are. Create a new media. Select a file. What we're gonna upload, we're going to upload the thumbnail from the last video onto here, because we're gonna create a course platform for the very same tutorial I upload currently on YouTube. So it's actually real life use. This has an alt attribute as thumbnail video 1, and we're going to save it. Now let's see if we get any error, because this should be now directly on S3. Something went wrong. Perfect. What went wrong? We got some invalid configuration. So it objects that the URL is invalid. Let's check. Yes, this has to include https // Let's save this. Let's save the server again. Restart the server again. We go to our site. This is again going to take a second. Okay, it reloaded. Let's try this again. Upload the thumbnail. Let's just take this. Let's press save and pray that it works. We're submitting. Is there any error? No, not yet. Undefined. Let's see what happens. And the media was successfully created. Now, how can we be sure that it is on the server? First of all, Payload would create some folder here if it would be not on the S3 storage bucket. But what we can also do is verify it here, because if we go to the buckets, it should show our bucket. It's loading. Yes, this is the bucket we just created, LMS YouTube, and it contains one file that has this size. This is our correct file. Now, we connected our project successfully to the Linode S3 bucket. If this was helpful for you, more is going to come soon. And if you want to hear more from us, consider subscribing to the email newsletter that's linked in the description. See you the next time.